Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Real quick, me and Sam are going to be at the Orlando Guardians game this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It's their last home game. You can get your tickets at tomanddan.com. There's a big Guardians logo. If you click on that,
They got that momentum now, man, coming off a win.
it'll go. I'm going to bet against them, actually.
Hey.
Which is
say that.
hard to explain to my sons, but
Gambling doesn't make any sense to kids.
I want them to learn because they'll learn.
How about teaching them to root for their home team?
Yeah. I mean,
Why are
let's
you going
get
to
that.
ruin them with gambling at such a young age?
Yeah,
It's nothing to do with
Get
what
them-
you want to
well,
happen.
No. Get them
Wow.
rooting for their home team first. And once they've
Right.
accomplished that, then you can ruin it by showing them the joy that is gambling and like rooting against teams you care about and
No,
how
it's
none
not-
of that matters.
What you want to
Don't
happen
ruin it before
doesn't
they.
matter.
No, but don't
This is
ruin
a-
it before they get a chance
Wow.
to enjoy. Don't you want
It's-
them to root for their home team? I'm with Sam on this one.
Yeah, this is odd,
Like-
man.
No,
like-
but this is a valuable life
It's
lesson.
not. You get
Yes,
no
it is.
value out of gambling. None. You
Yeah.
haven't made any money. You don't really get any joy out of it. All you do is complain about it. All you do is lose. No, I'm serious.
But he won't shut up about it.
I know he won't shut up about it.
What?
Because that's what really addicted gamblers do. They ruin their lives thinking they're chasing it, man. Chasing the donkey.
I'll tell you guys a quick story that
That's a lie. You've never told a quick story in your life.
That's true.
And then we.
I'll gamble. I'll bet you.
Yeah,
I'll bet you it's not
I'll bet you
a
it's
short
longer than
story.
3 minutes.
It's,
And you fit it into a TikTok.
It's a little bit longer, but
Nope, there it is.
Okay. I like your stories. Go ahead.
me and Max went to the basketball court because
Uh-oh, he's still on it, huh?
he still loves
it.
going out
Get
there.
a goddamn hoop.
Yeah, get him a hoop, man. And then you got to get him all the gear.
I like.
And then you got to tell him he's going to be the next Michael Jordan.
Does he wear basketball shorts?
no.
You got to get him. Everybody in Castleberry wears long and ones.
We went there and we're just shooting around, whatever.
Is he
and
playing
then-
in his Crocs?
And no. He's got shoes or whatever.
He's got pumps,
And-
Reebok pumps.
Before we leave, like me, Max, and Tommy, you used to do these. I would say, hey, do you think you could run to the playground, like go up the slide, then go around?
Oh, it's a physical challenge.
And then come back.
I love a good challenge.
And then and then I time it on my phone.
Yeah, who's the fastest? You got to go up, down the slide,
And-
run, touch the water fountain, come around.
And then so he's like, he's like, oh, let's do some of these challenges. He does this challenge. He's like, let's see how fast I can run across the basketball court and back.
This is great.
And then he
You
kept.
got to start doing 2 a days.
I'm like, it's getting dark. Enough with the challenges. And then I'm like, oh my God. And then I realized how annoying it is.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I apologize to you guys.
Oh, my God.
Wow, my God.
Mark
Wow,
this.
man. I didn't
Mark
expect
this
this. He got
down.
us.
Because
He got us.
I was
did
like,
not-
no one cares how fast you could do it. Then I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God. And then
And it made you realize
revelation,
that
yeah.
challenges are dumb and no
Yeah,
one cares
yeah,
about your
yeah.
stupid challenges. Oh, my
Learn
God.
that.
Thank you, Max.
I learned
So
a
we
lot
should
from
really
my
thank
sons.
Max.
It's a little
They're
versions
trying
of
to teach you,
of
Yeah.
myself, and I see how annoying I
Well,
am.
we like a little bit of challenges. We just don't like everything's a challenge.
I'm just saying.
You know, 1 or 2 is fine.
Also, I
My-
challenged you to a step contest, and you failed.
Yeah, I did.
No, it's like we
It's
need
been a rough week for Tom Van.
We need to warm up before we do those type of things.
So speaking of my sons,
Yeah.
I have a question to ask you.
Please.
And I really am.
Do you want an honest answer, or do you want to follow me to hell?
No, I want an honest answer,
Okay.
and I don't want the simple of they're just dumb people because
Well, your kids are not dumb. Is that what
Simplest
you're
answer is
saying?
usually
Yeah,
the
yeah.
answer.
Well, because I used to think about this, and I used to think, oh, well, a lot of people are dumb, so we'll move on, and just that's reason. But then I started thinking about it more, and I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, you overthinking? No
It-
way.
Yeah.
That doesn't even make any sense. It can't be that dumb because okay, and I'll explain.
Are you talking
Okay.
about people? Please don't say you're talking about your sons.
No, no. No.
Well, kids are dumb, but that's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
their
That's
fault.
just
They're
kids
naive.
kids
They don't
are
know.
Ignorant. They're ignorant.
They're
they
ignorant.
don't have the knowledge.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing.
They can get the knowledge.
So anyway, on the bike ride back from the basketball courts, and by the way,
You need to raise your bike seat. I can already tell without knowing what your bike seat looks like. You got to raise your bike seat if you're riding a bike. If you're under one wheel, you're fine. But if
we
Well, Tom's not riding a bike.
we go back, yeah, I'm already.
okay,
He's
good.
following me on it.
Yeah, if
And-
you were riding a bike, I can already see your knees are too small. They're up there next to your chin.
and it's pitch black, and we ride back through the Castleberry Woods.
No
You
reflectors.
guys don't have street lights?
Yeah, no reflectors,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no helmet.
And And I mean, it is
No shoes.
There's nobody around,
Yeah,
and
it's like
we're
Stranger Things dark.
we're next to the Castle Bay River, and
River?
It's not a river.
It's
That's a canal,
Yeah,
sir.
it's not a river.
And then
He's acting like he's Mark Twain out there watching the
The
steamboats go by.
secret pathway in the Castleberry River.
I am not nervous at all about getting murdered. Like I live my life.
Oh, I wouldn't either.
I just said like
Getting hit by a
pitch
car,
black.
maybe. Getting
Anyway.
murdered, nah, you're fine.
So
So you guys are on your way home.
Max was talking about John Cena, and he was like,
Oh, you can't bring that
Dun-dun-dun.
up. Don't do the face thing. That ruins female sports. Don't talk
we can talk about that
you
too.
can't talk about it.
and he was like John Cena, and he's like da da da. He was doing the whole thing, or whatever.
And
then I was like-
Interesting, because I don't think that your boys watch wrestling.
And that's what I said. I was
Yeah.
like, but they get it from YouTube, and there's a
Right.
whole cultural thing.
Isn't it crazy that Tom thinks what his kids do and don't do, and they watch wrestling and they know you're a drunk, and they don't even need to watch it. They don't even need to see it to know it.
So I asked them, I was like, well, do you watch wrestling? And then
That's cool, yeah.
And then he's like, I've seen it before, blah, blah. And then he's like, Tommy, I was talking to Tommy about it, and Tommy's like, they're acting. You know, they're just acting like they're fighting, right?
Right.
And I never told him that. He's like, so he just obviously watched it on YouTube or what. He saw it, and
Yeah.
then he looked at it, and he's like, well, they're just pretending to fight. I could obviously tell, right?
Sure.
You know. And then if you think about it, if you look at wrestling, you're like, well, this doesn't look like a real fight.
No.
We've seen real fights.
You're not seeing blood. You're not seeing people like holding
But
their
also-
face for hours or passing out.
Just
or,
like there's a cadence to two people really actually fighting, and wrestling doesn't look like that.
Is your argument that you wonder why people think it's real?
Not even there was a time
because they want it to be real.
No. Okay, so this is my question. So there was a time, I don't know, there's like the height of maybe the 80s or 90s
Yeah.
where people a big percentage of the wrestling fan base, or maybe not a big percentage, but there was a percentage bigger than now obviously that
Yeah.
believed it was real,
Yeah.
right? How did they believe it was real? Didn't they watch it and they think to themselves, well, I've seen a real fight, and this doesn't look like a real
I
fight to
don't-
me.
okay,
It's more
are-
of like
I-
an investment within the characters, like a soap opera.
Also, I don't think. Also, kids talk about this sort of stuff, and it's kind of implied in today's wrestling that it is tongue in cheek.
But I'm saying back then,
It wasn't implied back in the day.
They
They
took
took
it
it a lot
a
more
little more
serious
serious,
with
yeah.
kayfabe. Am I saying that right? Kayfabe.
Yeah. They
How
didn't.
they,
They
like,
never broke character,
Just
and it
the
wasn't
secret
openly talked about it.
handshakes, and yeah.
But I'm saying inside the ring, there's still a fight, quote unquote,
Sure.
going on. And didn't they see what was happening? And then they're like, well, this doesn't look like a real fight because I've seen real fights.
Right.
And it's not even close to anything real.
Well, the answer to what you're
How
saying.
did they believe it was real?
Well, they did and they didn't. You know, like also I think it's a little bit of wanting to believe it's real. Like the way you're kind of describing it is as if to say that Tommy had never seen it. You put it right in front of him. He looked at it and he says, that's not real fighting. But I think there's a little more at play than that. I think there's the essence of wrestling. He knows what it is. He knows that when we talk about it now, wrestling is not really referred to as being a real sport. They're real athletes. They're real entertainers.
Sport. Sports
and
entertainment.
they're hurting themselves. And I'm not talking about that part. I'm just talking about like the actual fighting part.
Well, there would also be better sells, right? So that some people would
Sure.
cut themselves.
Yeah.
Some people would actually get hurt.
Yeah, Ric
you know?
Flair.
People
I know.
died.
I know that it's dangerous and people hurt themselves. And then
And I think you're also maybe overestimating how many people have actually gotten into fights. A lot of people have never fought in their life.
true, but they've most likely seen a real fight or something close enough
Maybe.
to realize that what they're looking at cannot be real.
Well, this is...
What-
See, there were times back in the day where if you were watching WWE or you were watching WCW back in its heyday,
was it different back then?
It was more aggressive, I would say. I mean, it's a lot more for kids now than it's ever been, and it has been for,
No.
I'd say probably the last 20 years. It's been strictly for children.
That's true. You know, when old man Jake the Snake and stuff, you know,
It's
like
a little more
Hulk
real when he's
Hogan.
putting snakes on people. They're cutting themselves with razor blades and bleeding, and then you get girls flashing their boobs,
Yeah,
and guys would be a little more stiff in the ring, and they'd go at it.
Yeah, but I understand they like, you know, you'd be standing there and you do the hitting yourself,
Yeah.
stomping on the floor and the whole thing, but it's like still doesn't look anything even close to what a real fight looks like.
Right. The pacing is different.
And it's just like, it seems, I've seen old Hulk Hogan, even like Andre the Giant. Remember the Hulk Hogan fought? It's all on TikTok. They replay this.
Well, Andre had to actually jump up to let Hogan do the slam. It was like he was passing the torch.
But it's like, just watching it, I'm like, who thought that this was an actual...
there were grown men. I mean, all of Dirty Jim Colbert, he tells stories on his show about his relatives believing that it was real. I mean, that's one of Jimmy's more famous stories of like relatives of his in Palatka that like would literally believe. And I would say a combination of not knowing as much. We are a lot more tongue in cheek with it now. The celebrities are more for kids.
We gotta give a little bit of credence to the fact that there are just not as intelligent people.
No, I know.
Think about all the stuff on the internet that's fake.
True.
That people believe.
It's true.
Lots.
No, I understand. And I'll even go on to say, like, yes, like let's say if people that believed it was real, maybe more naive, less intelligent, but they still lived amongst the community and had jobs, and it's like, it couldn't be that dumb.
That Ric Flair really was beating up Dusty Rhodes. Yes, there were people that believed that, absolutely, and still believe that. But they're traditionally older people.
And maybe you could believe that he's really punching them because and some of them, sometimes you're really slapping and punching. You know what I'm saying? You see it, you're like, okay, he's really punching them, but this is not a real fight.
No.
Because I know
you
what
give
real
a little
fights
bit, though, right?
You're also killing Joy again.
No, but
You're
is
just
it that?
No, I'm just like, did they believe
people
it? Did they really believe it was real?
Well, what you're
Leave 'em
describing is something
alone.
that I don't know if you have the capacity to do. What you're describing is the other part of the bargain, right? This isn't it's not a one, like when you opt in to enjoy wrestling or to enjoy the fight, a part of you has to subconsciously you have to say, okay, I know that this isn't real, but they might be sort of fighting, right?
Well, it's like a movie.
And I think
watching a movie,
right.
you don't start thinking
That's
about like
your part of the equation.
Where's the camera? Yeah, I understand about that. It's like we're watching a movie, and I understand about like opening yourself up to just letting it happen. But there were people that believed,
Or there still are.
that is real.
Yes.
Yeah, but the ones that still are like that may be a
lot
whole
of
different.
old Southern grannies believe that Dusty Rhodes was a powerful, strong man.
And he was. I mean, the people
not as powerful as right? I mean, the guy was a fat guy, son of a plumber, right? And
no, I
that
understand
was his whole gimmick.
Son of a plumber.
And he was like the American dream, and he was the guy that may not look like the muscle guy, but he can get in there and mix it up. And through his knowledge of wrestling and just his sheer heart, he can beat the
And
tougher...
also, you can just be invested in the story, and maybe you don't even necessarily believe like the fighting is real, but like if you're watching a movie and there's an action scene, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
it's kind of like
belief.
But that's what you do now. But that's what you do now, and that's completely fine.
It's like any
with wrestling,
taekwondo test. Any taekwondo test that I watch when the kids are breaking the board, I go, that's fake.
But there were
Right?
there were a huge segment of society and people that didn't just suspend belief and say like, I know it's all, but yeah, they're really hitting each
We'd
other.
have to ask somebody that really believed it.
I'm talking about really believed it. But is that
I think I did, but I was a kid.
Is that the BS? And not that many people believed it was actually real.
You're asking me if I ever thought wrestling was real. I'm trying to put myself in Tommy's shoes.
Not even
I
you.
don't know. I don't know if I did.
I'm not even saying as kids that's fine because you're maybe naive to it or whatever.
No, I think my dad told me. I think my dad told me that it wasn't real.
I'm saying I don't actually believe that people believed it was real. I don't think they could have even possibly believed it was real. I think
that goes to my argument, which the only way they would is if you suspend disbelief and you say, well, I'm giving you a part of me by saying, I know that this isn't real, but I'm gonna go along with it.
Yeah, that's completely fine.
So that's what you're saying that these people were doing. They may not want to admit it, but that's what they were doing.
Because I think it was exaggerated how many people actually believed it was real.
I agree with that.
And
I agree with that.
I don't think it was ever really that much of a.
Isn't this the
Man,
thing
the amount of time you spend on wondering about this?
But this is
Because
the stuff that drives his relatives crazy around him is that. Like, he's like, I don't think you really believe that, right? And I'm not saying you're wrong. I think you're right. I think there were people that...
I would put this in the folder of who cares? But you know,
Yeah,
Tom's
definitely.
really,
Definitely.
Tom's
But
really overthinking
my who
Oh,
cares
you-
folder is out.
full. It's full.
Oh,
It is bursting open.
You should get to see all the fights that I get into, and people are like, "Why are you defending?" I'm like, "Wait a minute, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying I understand where you come from in trying to explain this."
Now, if there was a person that I met one time at Cactus Bob's that was convinced and was telling me that
Cactus Steve.
No. This was a
Cactus Steve thinks
a-
wrestling's real. No, I'm
There's
joking.
a radio listener who tried to tell me that Vince McMahon was murdered
I
in
remember
his
this.
limo.
I was there.
right?
I was there.
Yeah,
That
and then
yeah.
I was like, what?
But that person
I
was
thought-
legitimately real. That person really believed that. At least I have no other knowledge of being able to say that they didn't believe it.
And, now that is a little bit different because they saw him get in a limo and blow up as like a magic trick. He didn't
Yeah.
understand how, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the fighting in the
Right.
ring, I'm just like, how can anybody look at that and then think that is a real fight because they've seen other real fights and they're like, well, that's not how human beings fight. It looks totally
hold on.
different.
I
You
can
know
help
what I'm
you with
saying?
this. I can help you with this because it's not
It's not
traditionally
even like
her
boxing,
lane. What
like
do you
the-
think Maisie would say if I ask her if wrestling's real? If we just started watching it? I don't know. We've never watched it really. She used to watch the female wrestling and sort of enjoyed it, but I think she might think it's real.
But as kids, and maybe they don't know, but I'd be interested.
I
because,
would be interested
because
to see
Tommy,
what she said too.
he just picked up on the fact that it's like
The pacing's
they're
weird.
acting. You know,
Yeah.
there's like it's over the top.
They're
It's like
talking too much.
You know,
Like when dads fight, it's usually wrestling until somebody's like gets really hurt, then they call
Also,
the cops.
I think that there's a weird psychology where there wasn't as much like quote unquote reality TV back in the day. So this was presented as like a real live event that's happening.
Yeah.
And now like we all know that most reality shows 99.9% are scripted,
Yeah.
overproduced.
But
it
he-
feels fake, you know? So I think that could potentially
But the same people are familiar, and I'm sure have seen boxing. You know what I'm saying? And they
Do you
know that
think
is a
it-
real
So
competition.
you think Tommy and Max know that boxing is?
no, I don't know why.
That's interesting.
Kids
show them a boxing match.
Kids don't count because I'm talking. Were there
Adults.
a huge amount of adults that really believe wrestling is real, or is that the legend, or is that the
Still
urban
real
legend?
to me, man.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think there
I
was.
think that plays into the legend, Sam. I think what you're saying. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people look. We love goofing and making
And I
the
think
jokes.
a lot of parents will watch it with their kids and kind of put on that it is
My
real
dad did.
because
My dad
you
did.
know it makes for a fun experience.
Of
My
course,
dad knew
yeah.
it was fake, but he liked watching it with me.
Yeah, but that's totally different. The entertainment value is not. Is fine. The wrestling is fine. I'm just saying. Were the number of people that believed it was real exaggerated? Because now I'm thinking it was. Because I used to believe that there was a lot of people that believed it was real, and there was this whole thing, and that's why, like, I almost called him Geraldo. What's his name?
Wait,
Giuseppe, I don't
No,
know. What are you talking
the
Geraldo.
about?
mustache man that got slapped in the ear when he was
John Stossel.
John
It was
Stossel.
John Stossel. I don't know where you, Geraldo. You're thinking of Geraldo. And that was the white supremacist he got into a fight with
Okay.
on set. Well, you're
John
Same thing.
Stossel.
I think you're thinking of John Stossel and Dr. Death. Dr.
Yeah.
Death, John Stossel told Dr. Death that wrestling was fake, and in order to prove to John Stossel that it was real, he slapped him fucking. Oh, I cursed. He slapped him deaf. He
Whoa.
slapped him deaf.
Yeah, it busted his
Yeah, he
eardrum.
busted his eardrum.
Now,
Sorry, Sam.
but I think the
Okay, I
the
figured it out. I figured it
Yeah,
out.
because the argument back then was the wrestlers were like, we're really hitting each other.
The
but
kayfabe.
it's, yes.
They were more dedicated to it. No, this is your argument. The internet ruined wrestling. The internet ruined it because there was less information back in the day. I remember when we were on the Monsters, and I don't think you were there yet. I remember Dante Culpepper had the opportunity to meet Dusty Rhodes and handed his cell phone to Dusty so he could talk to his mom, and she's crying. Like, these are old Southern people that in like the Southeast would believe that wrestling was legit real because the only time you could see it was TV, and when it came through town, nobody was blowing it up or telling the real stories. There wasn't any collusion online. You didn't see them riding together. You know, you didn't see Ric Flair talking to Dusty Rhodes. They sold it, man.
But my argument is
It is exaggerated,
that
but
those people, they didn't even really believe it was real.
I think
Except,
some of them did.
did they?
Some of them did, yeah. Yeah, they did. Because they're
I would like
dumb
to
old Southern people.
I would like to hear from someone that met someone that actually believed what was happening in the ring. Now, maybe they believe the character's real, or like
I
it's
think
like
you
a
give
soap
them a pass.
opera.
I think they think you get in there, you mix it up. They're not going to hurt each other. They slap each other around a little bit, but they hate each other.
So they admit this is not an actual fight, or not.
I think
Like,
if you gun to their head, yeah.
Okay, well, then
I do try to answer your questions
the whole,
when we do this.
there was a bunch of people that believed it was real, not real.
That goes back to my theory of they're giving themselves up. They're like, look, I want to believe that this is real. I know in my heart of hearts it's not.
Okay,
but
that's
I'm
fine.
willing, gun to head. I'd have to admit to you it's not real. But I like it so much, I'm just going to pretend
Okay,
it's
that is fine. Then I
It's
can
like
sleep.
self-delusion.
I can sleep at night because of that.
Jesus, that's
we
what
talked
keeps
it
you up
out.
at night?
That
we
I
talked
can-
it out.
That
My
I can
God,
accept.
you think about a lot of useless stuff.
I just couldn't accept that a grown adult actually saw what was happening in the ring and
Yeah.
thought it was a real fight.
Yeah.
That's because I was like, well, even Tommy, a kid, realized this was acting. And so I was like, I feel like even the adults in the 70s and 80s, like maybe they like, yes, they were really punching each other. And I think the wrestlers' point back then was like, yes, we're really hitting each other. We're hurting each other.
Yeah,
That's real.
We're professionals and know how to do it.
Yeah. We're just, it's like a stunt man. It's like the stunts
It is a
a
stunt
stunt man is
Yeah.
doing are real. Like, it's dangerous. They could die, but they know what they're doing,
Yeah.
right? He's not actually Indiana Jones. He's playing
But see,
Indiana
it's
Jones.
not like that now. Like, so Tommy now has the luxury of every behind the I'm just using him as the example. Every behind the scenes video of every superstar, including John Cena. He knows John Cena isn't hurt because he can see him in a
On an
thousand other
interview
videos. Yeah.
as
Like-
his real self.
Yeah,
course,
all
yeah.
behind the scenes. Seth Rollins and the lady he's dating, a red-haired girl, I'm blanking on her name, Becky Lynch. You can see their kids. You can see them on
different game now.
vacation. Yeah, it's ruined. It's absolutely
of course.
ruined because it's the same thing with like the band Ghost or Slipknot. Like, it's all ruined because you can see who these people are.
Yeah. And
It's ruined.
And yeah, it's never.
That's not a bad thing. I'm not complaining, dumb old man. I'm just saying it is ruined because at any second you can go and get that information. It is at your fingertips. So in order to truly believe it or love it, you have to almost say, well, I'll never look that up.
Yeah. And now, but
I'm gonna stop looking up everything.
I stopped
love.
looking at
That's
movie
fine.
trailers. I stopped
Music,
movie
movies,
trailers.
because
I do
everybody's
not,
terrible.
But
I don't
and then
do
it
movie
ruins
trailers.
music for me.
I don't do movie trailers anymore. And if somebody tells me an album sucks, I'll probably like it.
But my point is that it was ruined as soon as they got into the ring and started, quote unquote, fighting, because that's not how people fight. And anybody that is not a young kid would be able to recognize this is not how two humans fight.
Well,
therefore,
only if you're like a see, that's where I think the argument falls apart for me, because I can see an instance where I don't really know that much about fighting, where I'd be like, well, that's the way that they choose to fight. It's a specific type of fighting. That's how I would.
I don't think
I don't
anybody think that, because they've seen boxing
They
again.
do have rules. Yeah, no, there's different rules for. I see what you're saying.
I've never ever looked at wrestling and been like, well, that's weird. That looks that's a different style. I've never questioned it. You do a lot of questioning, and I think that's maybe the difference in like your type of personality and my type of personality. Is I would just accept, oh yeah, that's wrestling. That's the way that they do it. That's their style of rules. They talk more and they slap each other versus punching each other to death or pulling each other's eyeballs out.
But you would say to yourself, though, this is not they're not actually fighting
I don't think I would take it that far.
each other, right?
It's not that deep for me.
But there were, in my experience, I was told that there were a lot of people that believed wrestling was real, and that was the whole thing.
I think they think they do believe that.
How could they really believe it?
Because they're not taking it as deep as you are. If you don't take it as deep, you can believe anything you want.
People thought Jerry Springer was real.
Yeah, like you're analyzing
those weren't real
it.
fights.
You're analyzing because it drives you crazy.
But
You're
real
not-
people acted that way.
You're not thinking about the
in
person that
real life.
doesn't want to take it any further. Then, oh yeah, they're just
God,
wrestling.
you gotta
Yeah.
have a little. Tom has no imagination. That's why.
No, he does have a great
I don't
imagination.
know.
It just works in a weird way.
But the Jerry Springer, I understand, and then reality shows, I understand people getting fooled by that because people act that way in real life. And that's like, well, I've seen trashy rednecks act, and this person's doing it. You know what I'm saying? So then it's like, I don't know if it's an act or real, because it's just like an actor pretending to be someone
Right.
that
It's kind of like goes back to the
but it's
Tracy
like-
Morgan
but
thing that's
no one-
driving you crazy,
but
right?
no one fights. No humans fight like they do in wrestling.
Wrestlers do.
And
Right.
but not
Right.
not real
That-
wrestlers. Like there are real, even before professional wrestlers, there was actually wrestling.
Well, like
that people
Greco-Roman.
I never
changed.
even knew that was a type, like, quote unquote real wrestling, like you
Me
would
neither.
see on like Olympic. I didn't even know that until I was almost an adult.
Me neither. I went backwards. I went
thought
like
wrestling was
professional wrestling,
wrestling.
and then I learned about Greco-Roman
Yes.
regular
Well, again,
wrestling.
kids, I'll give them a pass because they just haven't experienced it. I'm talking about adults. I was sold that adults
They're-
believed it was real, and I'm saying no, they didn't.
There are some that do. Yeah, I would say there are some that do.
Well, that's fine. Some is fine. I'm talking about I was sold that there were lots of people that in the 80s
I mean,
and
enough
90s.
to embarrass you, I think. I mean,
believed
I
it
think
was
there's
real.
enough people that believed it was real because, again,
I don't believe they
you're-
believed it.
because you're addressing everybody you're talking about in this particular. If you were doing like an experiment, all of your subjects that you're talking about, you're making them think like you are. That like, how can they not look at this and analyze the way that these people are hitting? And not everybody. Again, I'll say it again. Not everybody has to go as far in the argument as you do. There are plenty of people that are willing to look at the
Face
people
value,
fighting in the ring
yeah.
and go, they're fighting, and leave it at that. Never question it anymore. You're discounting all of those people that don't want to even take it any further.
But I'm curious to if there were people that literally believed it was real and that what
Yeah.
was happening in the ring was real. I'm like, did those people believe that what they saw in the movies was real? Like,
No, it's a movie.
People believe Blair Witch was real.
They I don't know if they did.
No, they definitely did.
Yeah, there were
What-
people that believed
100%.
that thought that was a documentary. Yeah.
Have you met them, or is it just on
Yes.
the internet?
I mean, is this becoming one of these things where
I-
everything we talk about, Sam
No,
and
no.
I have to have met this person in order for it to
No,
be real?
that was definitely, dude. When that came out,
Yeah.
everybody I knew thought that was real.
People were crying in the movie theater. I went to
Everyone thought it
NZM.
was real until they showed up to
'Cause
the
it-
MTV Awards.
Because I guess they never seen it before,
Right.
And then
And they didn't do any interviews to promote the movie. They did it on
Yeah.
purpose that way.
Now that is different,
Okay,
though.
no, okay.
No, but it was because Blair, like no one's ever seen it before.
Like, I thought you were going to go the Larry Witch Project.
No, but like the Blair Witch Project, no one's ever seen
Bird Project.
a homemade, where it looks like it's homemade.
Yeah, there were only a
footage
couple before that.
that got released, so people are confused. They're like, "Is it real? Was it a documentary?" Like,
Yeah.
because what I'm saying is, the adults, they've seen like boxing, regular wrestling, or people just fight in bars or whatever,
Yeah.
or the way people act like. This is not how anybody really fights.
Yeah, but
So
most
how-
people don't know how people really fight, so it doesn't
Adults
matter.
do, right?
No, I don't think.
That's what I said. Not everyone has been in a
No.
fight.
But they've seen.
Not necessarily.
No, they don't. They haven't, man.
Okay,
Like,
I thought that they've never seen boxing.
I think the
or-
vast
or
majority.
wrestling in their school.
But again, I think
I didn't see wrestling in school. Till
I don't think most people like. I think like what you're describing is the way that you looked at it, or you're thinking that these people that are believing it are going to look at it and be like, hold on, wait a minute, that doesn't appear to be an actual fight. And I don't think people take it that far.
They just don't even think about
No.
it. But then when they thought it was real, then other people were saying it was fake. Again, I've never even seen this happen, so I've never even seen the exchange. But I imagine they'd have conversations with someone that was saying like, "Hey, this is fake," and they were arguing that it was real. I was just wondered, did that person actually exist, or was it exaggerated at the time?
Now,
the
that
amount
I agree,
of
too.
the amount of people that actually believed it was real.
That I can
and that
agree
was
with.
part of the legend.
I do think it's exaggerated because I think most things get exaggerated over time, right?
Yeah.
Like even our stories, if you go back to the beginning of our show and then you like look at how we tell the stories now, I'm sure that they're like way
There's
bigger.
people that thought
and
every bit you did on the radio was real.
still do. There's some people that still think like those things were real.
Easier to trick the person because they had nothing to like.
Well,
like what I
people
said.
get tricked a lot more now, right?
Like
People get tricked from the
I
beginning
wonder,
of time.
like, do you think that, like, or do you question a lot of this stuff? You think because of the amount of times that you have been tricked in your past?
no. I'm questioning the fact that people actually believed it was real, and I'm thinking like if Tommy saw that it was obviously acting, and then I look back at old wrestling videos and it was like, it's not.
No, but again, as Dan said, it is different now. Wrestling now and
It's
with the
for
internet
babies.
now is completely different. I
Yeah.
think if I was a kid now growing up, I would know it's fake.
No, but the back then, I'm saying adults believed that the wrestling in 1990 was real.
He's basically
and I'm
saying,
saying, no, they didn't.
but I'm saying because it was different. There, like we said, there were no interviews. Everybody stayed in effing character the entire time.
No,
you never saw anybody out of their costume,
No,
out of character.
he's
I'm saying, well, just what the actual fight in the ring, because it's so absurdly orchestrated. And
I'm done arguing.
he's saying
No?
he can't
Just keep
possibly.
going.
He's saying he can't possibly think that.
I know. Anything he can't possibly think is right. So we're done here.
Oh,
I'm
look what you
sorry.
did.
No, because it's every argument is I've never seen it. I don't know anyone personally, so then it doesn't exist. And then there's no conversation because everything I say you're just gonna keep talking in circles.
No, I agree that it does exist, but maybe not to the amount that I was told.
I think we all agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's.
So I don't know why we keep going back to it.
It's exaggerated for sure.
Okay.
Oh my God, this got awkward.
It's
now
not
I
that
understand
awkward.
how God.
That's not that awkward. It's
My
everything
God.
everyone's saying in the chat. We're just tired of hearing the same argument.
Oh my
Listen,
God!
I
Would you
won't
shut up over there.
I won't talk anymore. I just anyway.
No,
That's fine. Listen, I won't share my opinions anymore. Because I don't.
It's fine. Just get the opinion out and then be
Okay.
done with it.
All right, I'm done
Why
with
do you
it.
keep saying the same thing 20 times?
You want to
I'm
do a
done
couple
with it.
voicemails before
Yep.
we get out of here? All
Yeah,
right. Okay.
Listen, I don't know.
All right, let's try. This one is, I think this one has to do with, let's see. This has to do with tornadoes. I've been wanting to sit through
Hey
one.
Sam, Tom, Dan, this is Christrema. I was listening to your Friday Free show, enjoying myself as much as I could because I had to
What
go
does
down
that
to the
mean?
basement with my dogs because the tornado sirens went off
I'm
tonight while I was
sorry.
home by myself. Not once, not twice, but 3 times, and really freaked me out. But you guys kind of kept me going there for a minute, I guess. But it was kind of funny because as soon as I walk up, Dan starts talking about, I don't want to be insensitive, but I kind of want to go through a tornado. Well,
sorry.
I don't know if anyone got really close to my house, but I'll let you know. I'll call back if anything else happens. Anyway, love you guys.
Well, I hope you're all right. My
yeah,
God.
there was a lot of damage.
Bad. A lot of people got injured, hurt, killed.
Yeah.
It's bad out there.
Total towns. Like, it's insane.
The
Have you been seeing some of the footage?
the footage is
Because now people have
nuts.
drones, right? So you can see
crazy.
like way closer, and of course like Ring doorbells and stuff
Everybody
like
has
that. It's
surveillance
nuts. Did you
cameras
see the concert where the concert was going on in like I want to say like a gymnasium or something, like a metal show?
Yeah.
And the whole like ceiling landed on people.
Oh my God.
And then the camera looked up and you could still see like the weather outside, like the lightning and the wind.
God.
And they're trying to lift the freaking roof off the people.
Oh,
It was
my
crazy.
God.
Dude, it was bad.
Yeah, it's real bad.
I saw some video of a guy that he was filming the whole time, saw the tornado in his garage, then ran in with his brother or whatever, and was still filming. And then you see it go past real close to his house, to the point where he was filming outside his neighborhood.
People are getting crazy with that.
Then they ran inside, and then it was coming the amount of power it had, and then he ran back outside. The complete landscape
It's
gone.
was demolished
Yeah.
and changed. It happened in 5 minutes.
yeah, I
It
changed my
demolished.
mind. I don't want to be in one of those.
Yeah, no.
I've
Well,
been thinking
They're
about it.
scarier than hurricanes for sure.
Because with
Tighter, right? Like more intense.
you know how we've all lived through it, where you go to sleep during a hurricane because it's so long,
Sure.
and then you wake up and then the landscape has changed. It happened over
Yeah.
a
You go
6-hour period
outside,
or
it's
whatever.
different and calm
Trees
outside.
down.
And then in 5 minutes, the exact same thing, or worse, obviously the tornadoes are worse, happened. And that's what's crazy to me is how fast it demolishes everything.
Yeah.
Because we recognize okay, the 5-hour
Energy.
Yeah, it takes a long time for a hurricane
Yeah.
to come through, and then a tornado
The
is just.
slow sit and wait for a while.
Yeah, and it's really
Where tornadoes
bad.
can kind of come out of nowhere and they can drop and lift up and drop again, and
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And it is just nuts, the devastation that people have to rebuild an entire town, or their houses get completely annihilated.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you had a block house, would the tornado would only take the roof, right?
I think so, but I mean, it really depends on what else is hitting that block home, right? I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think a tornado would, because that was the problem with Andrew and Homestead, is like that's what changed the code for building code.
Sure.
But we can only build block houses because I don't know exactly, but
A big enough hurricane will take out anything above the ground, including brick homes.
what
But what about tornado?
Brick and concrete homes will withstand higher winds than most wood construction, but it's actually the type and quality of construction based on local building codes that determines the storm damage.
Huh. Because I know that they don't have the same
It
codes
says
in
they
tornado.
brick houses could withstand tornadoes as strong as EF2, but anything above that, they are subject to damage.
Like the actual block of the
Yeah.
walls would fall.
Damn.
Anyway, yeah, it is. And it's crazy that it happens in such a smaller area. You
Tiny.
know what I'm saying? Like we're a neighborhood across the street.
Like
could
two
be
houses.
no damage
Yeah.
whatsoever, and then entire like blocks will be annihilated, and then the houses around it will be fine.
Oh,
Like,
you can have one touchdown and then like tear up one home and then rise up and then just dissipate into the air. You know, just it went away now.
yeah.
Let's try this one. I believe this is from our good friend Canadian Josh.
Hello, Tom, Dan, and Sam. It's Canadian Josh. Leaving a message in regards to the new BDM shirts, the $5 shirts you guys have out for BDM
Don't talk about
Appreciation
it.
Week. I appreciate that you guys have those shirts available, and I went to add one to my cart. But because my address is in Canada, it will not ship to Canada, and that made me sad. I'm just saying, $10.95 BDM here, and just signed up another $10.95 BDM.
That's true.
The Russian dude, Savelli, he can't get his
Oh,
either.
Savelli.
Just wondering if we could work something out in trade. I could send you guys the money for the shipping.
Send me
you
the money.
nudes of my wife and her thonger that
Oh
you
my
guys think
God.
is
Send me the
sad,
nudes
that I
and the
was
money.
just
With
bragging
consent.
about. Little Cheese wants one. Big Cheese
Don't
wants
talk
one.
about it. I just
anyway,
got the
hoping
pictures
Wait,
of
the
them.
whole
you guys can
family
do
wants a
something
$5
for your
shirt?
How can you? What kind of
Hold
a man
on.
talks about nudes of his wife and then the next sentence starts talking about Big and Little Cheese, his sons?
Sorry about that. I think the problem.
Anything international was having issues for some reason.
Good. We can't afford it.
It was because of the shipping and us trying to do it. Listen, it was
It's,
a whole
Don't
cluster.
worry about it. You'll get your shirt when we
Just-
get them to out.
Listen, if you are a Canadian listener, just email us. We'll work it out.
Yeah.
I
What
think
Figure
if
it
you're a
out.
British listener? Because we got a couple of those.
British
that are
listener,
mad,
Email
mad.
us. We'll figure
if
it
you're
out.
out of the country,
Tom at tomanddan.com.
We'll figure it out.
Listen, if you are a BDM, this is what you pay. You are a customer of ours. We'll try to make you happy.
We'll make it happen.
So if you think to yourself, like, hold on, what about, like, this isn't fair, just email me. Like, I don't get that many emails. Like, I don't. Like,
Email
Email
him, tell
him.
him he's wrong about everything.
No, don't leave him alone.
No,
He's a child, just
no,
a baby.
Send me an email. I will respond, or at least I'll look at it. If you don't
already
ask
took it down
me,
a peg.
but if you don't ask me
But
anything,
that's only if his mailbox isn't
You
full.
have to
No.
act. If you want him to respond, you better put in there, please respond.
well, because if you just say
Or
like,
put, I bet you won't respond.
No,
and
don't do that
then-
either, because then you'll just
I
get in a
respond.
fight. You'll just get into a fight.
but if you just say like, hey, I love the show. If you just give us compliments, I don't know what to respond really, except for like thanks, and then I'm like, well, that's not very
Thank
much.
you.
But if you say like,
It's better
hey,
than not responding to their email, right?
Yeah, but we already love the show. I'm trying to fix the complaints
you-
of the people that are going to quit being a BDM,
Okay,
like
all
Josh
right,
and the
yeah.
Canadian. They're like, hey, I pay for BDM. I wanted the
Canadian
shirt.
Savelli, Canadian Josh.
If you have a problem, I'll fix it. Just email me, Tom at
I know. I was
tomanddan.com.
gonna do it. I was gonna do it.
I'm going to give my cell phone number.
If you got a problem, yo, I'll
407
fix it.
407-808-9241 is my
Here's
cell
my
phone number. If you're a BDM, there it is.
There you go. D-pick credit. All right. Let's find one more. We got time for one more. Let's try this guy right.
Tom, Dan, Sam, BDM Kylie with BDM Mike. He's talking to his stepfather over at Hollowbacks. Just got to shout out the new pins. I love the Tom and Dan dreaming. But yeah, we're celebrating Mike's 31st birthday. Over here with some good old German food. All right, love y'all. Have a great night.
I heard him say, I heard Mike, I just want to point out that in that, I heard you say stupid talk radio. I was eavesdropping your
no.
conversation you're having with somebody, and you called our show Stupid Talk Radio. Is that what you think about us, Mike? I'm going to get
That's
him.
what he says to his stepdad.
Yeah, I'm going to get him over there flapping his gums to his stepdad.
Is it weird
What?
to call someone your stepdad as an adult?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should call him his name. Steve,
Right.
Billy.
My mom's husband.
Don't
right?
call him dad.
I don't know.
Call him daddy. Don't
Weird.
call him dad. It's not your dad.
Well, okay. Let me ask you this question.
No,
And
no.
I don't
Oh,
want-
God. No,
Hey,
go ahead.
stepdads are not real.
If you
Who believes it's their real dad?
well, once you're an adult, right? And this is not like if you're a kid, I understand like that. This is your stepdad, right? But if you're an adult, and let's say you're in your late 20s, and then your mom gets remarried or your aunt gets remarried, do you refer to that person as your uncle or stepdad or whatever? I feel like at this point, it's just your new husband, and he's not my uncle, right? It'd be
Yeah.
weird to refer to him as my uncle. I'm a grown
It
man.
would be weird to
It's
do
just like,
that.
hey, it's my new husband. It's fine. It's like, good. I'm glad you're happy. But it's like, it's not like, hey, here's Uncle
This is
Steve.
your new uncle.
It's
Yeah.
like, it's like
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
it's weird.
Yeah.
It's just like, you
It
know,
is weird.
It's your new husband. How you doing? Good. I'm
nice
a
to
grown
meet
man.
you.
You're a grown man.
Yeah. You
Same thing.
sit
With,
on his face at times.
same thing with your stepdad. It's like you don't refer to him as your new stepdad. It's like I'm already
I think
an
you
adult.
call him. I think you.
It's just
the
my
first thing,
new husband, right?
The first thing you
Yeah.
do when you get a new stepdad is you ask him privately if you can call him stepdaddy in front of people.
like
Zaddy.
calling someone your stepdad as an adult, if it's a new stranger you never met, is
Yeah.
a
Oh,
weird.
if your
it's a-
mom married a guy as you're an adult?
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
You had
Like,
that,
huh?
right? You had.
No,
Like, didn't your mom remarry?
Yeah, but I was 14.
Oh, okay, that doesn't
You know,
count.
or 12.
Close, but
no,
doesn't
no,
count.
actually, I was younger than that. I was like,
And you had younger siblings.
Yeah.
I was like 12. Yeah, and then my brother was 2.
Do your
you know
boys
what I'm saying? So
call
Goddamn.
you? Do your boys call you daddy?
it was started with dada, and then daddy, and then now it's eking into
Hey, old man.
dad.
Dad, yeah, I hate
Max
it.
is like, hey, dad. Like I'm like, oh, it gets me. a
Yeah, I
little
hate
bit.
it.
But then they'll still hug me when I get home.
Oh, I love
And then, but that just like the Chappelle bit, I imagine will
that.
eventually.
It'll fade away. Yeah.
You know, so sometimes I get home and then I'm like, hey, I'm home, and then they'll be playing video games.
Yeah, they don't care.
We
And-
like Roblox more than Dad.
I get that, Sam.
And
I
then-
get that 100%.
And then I'll walk in, and then I'll just sit there and watch them, and I'm like, hey, and then I make them.
standing here.
And then they get up and reluctantly hug me with half a hand, still looking at their
They're
video
like,
game.
I'll be in the garage.
Wait till they get boyfriends or girlfriends.
I
Oh.
know.
Oh, there'll be a time where I'm like
They'll
trying to.
never want to hang out with you, just their friends.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Max is already going and hanging out with like we dropped him off to hang out with a friend the other day,
The soap one?
and
The one, the bottom soap?
yeah.
Oh, my
And-
God.
And then he's just hanging out with a friend.
a pillow.
And but
Here's a
Tom,
loofah. And some
Tommy's still
deodorant.
He'll hang out with me. I'll keep.
See,
him
that's why I
around.
need it too. I keep telling Andrea. I think that's why she bought the puppy. Is because I got no one to hang out with now.
Oh yeah, it's just the puppy now. Yeah,
It's just me and the
you'll
puppy.
be hanging out with that
Yeah,
puppy.
that's all I
and
hang
some
out with.
version of the
Yeah.
puppy for the rest of
Until
your
I
life.
die.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
me and little dogs.
Maisie's already independent.
I know.
On her career path to CEO.
I'll be like driving her to dance. I'll go to like drive her to dance, and like I'll be coming around the corner. Like we'll be close, and she'll be like, "Can I unbuckle now?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Got my backpack on, got my drink." She's like, "Okay, 3, 2, 1." I pull up. She like jumps out. Bye. Mm.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah,
all
that's-
right,
that's the
bye.
end.
It makes me very sad. We got to get out of here.
All right. And what's coming up next is the replay of our AMT podcast that we do on Fridays. We don't really talk about it, but
I thought you were going to say, and what happens next?
Blow your wig
mind.
off.
I'm like, what? What's he plugging? But yeah, it's every Friday we do an uncensored show. We'd like for you to be a part of it. Go to tomanddan.com if you want to hear it without the beeps. And sign up to be a BDM if you want extra shows, a little more intimate.
Now that's assuming we're saying this just for terrestrial radio listeners that aren't familiar with the Friday show, which I don't even know exists.
Yeah.
Let us know. Email Tom at Tom and Dan.
That's true. It could be as fake as wrestling.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
People
right.
believe in it. We don't know.
I think everybody listening to terrestrial radio right now knows what we do.
Yeah. And
I
they
don't think
care.
there- I don't
You
think
they
there's
care?
well, whether they care,
They might have tuned out by now.
Too busy to care.
they know though. They're not like, oh, I didn't know, right? they know.
I
We'll
hope I
find
get
out.
one person that was like, I didn't know.
Email us if you didn't know.
There you go. Show
I
at
won't believe it.
TomandDan.com.
I won't believe it.
Bye-bye. That's funny. All right.
And we got Susan online too.
Oh, great. Quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's that go?
Thursday 1 and 2. Should we put Susan for Monday? Because we should save at least one segment for Sanford 3 tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay, so she'll be Monday. Monday 3.
Monday 3.
Okay.
Susan's online.
2.
Was that 3 and 4?
That's 1 and 2. We don't do 3 and 4.
Ah!
Gotcha.
Did.
I remembered this time.
remember
I literally didn't. I wrote down 3, and then when he said, and coming up next, I was like, oh, yeah, that's right.
You said line 2. Susan, can you hear us okay?
I can.
Awesome. Very good to talk to you as always.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. We are not
appreciate you guys for
recording.
inviting me.
I'm just I'm dumping a file real quick. We're not recording yet, but you are on
Yeah, no stress.
YouTube and Twitch, and just hold on, and then you know the drill. You've done this before.
Mhm.
All right, hold on.
Cool beans.
Okay. Okay. Would you like for me to begin?
Sure.
And what number is this?
Monday
Monday
3.
Monday
Oh, 3.
3. Gotcha. Come on, computer.
Come on, computer.
All right, here we go. Got it now. I will bring us back. Here we go. In 3, 2. Welcome back to a corporate time.
So we interviewed this person on the line a while back about her Instagram account, and she had a surfing duck.
Yes.
And the surfing duck was famous and had its own Instagram. I follow Susan and Susie's duck on Instagram. But Daniel informed me of what happened.
Yeah.
And so, Susan, are you on the line?
I am.
All the way from Hawaii. This
Yeah,
is
good morning.
Crazy Hawaiian duck lady. We love
Yeah,
you so
aloha.
much. It's very aloha.
Aw.
It is very good to talk to you, but I wish that maybe we were talking under better circumstances. Like you the namesake of your surfing duck has passed away, correct?
She did, unfortunately, a year and a
I'm
half
so
ago.
sorry.
Yeah. Massive bacterial infection. We just couldn't. But
So-
it's okay. It's okay. The reason we're talking is because of her.
So, Susan, when you say, like, how long, I'm not familiar with ducks. I have no idea how long they live. Like, what's a
More
duck's
of a parrot guy.
lifespan?
Macaws. Macaques.
Yeah, they're not quite macaws, thank goodness, but they can live up to 20 years.
20
Wow.
years, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
They get right there, right before they can start drinking, and they die, typically.
So a little more than a dog or cat.
Right.
Right.
And then you say bacterial infection. Is that common with ducks?
There's so many different things, but no, it wasn't. It was pretty unique. So we're not really sure exactly what happened, but
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So,
Hey.
What do you do with all of her surfboards? Do you? I'm joking. I'm sorry. I'm joking. I'm trying
I know,
to.
right?
I do. This is where
we're
I
hanging on the wall of fame.
Yeah, I deflect because I get sad.
so,
No, it's okay. It's okay.
so
We need to deflect.
now let's talk about, like, you built up a Instagram following, and can you train another duck to do what it's the Instagram account is called
Susie's Duck.
Susie's Duck, but I want to call the duck Susie
Me
too.
too. Yeah.
But what's the duck? What was the duck's
That's
name?
okay. So many people do.
Yeah.
Her name was Daffy.
Daffy.
Daffy,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. It was so
R.I.P.
generic I
Daffy.
couldn't remember it.
So can you train another duck to do what Daffy did? Because I believe with like Twiggy, the water skiing squirrel, they got another squirrel in there and they like
Twiggy retired.
super glued his feet good.
Then Twiggy came out of retirement, I believe, last year.
Yeah, but I think it's a new
squirrel.
and they
Yeah.
just call it Twiggy.
Yeah, can you get a new Daffy?
Technically, it would just take time to do. She was pretty unique, but it's definitely possible. There's a really cool duck actually named Duck in Rainbow Bay, Australia, who we met with their family. And when they got their next duck, they trained their duck to surf. There was this cool ambassador down there for surfing. We were starting an international duck surfing team.
So you are now starting an international duck surfing team. And
That's what
also
we're working on. That's our goal.
and also haven't you been inspired since the passing of Daffy? So now you're starting like your own like rescue duck sanctuary, correct?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what happened. That's what came out of it. Everybody said, oh, you have a duck. Here's another one. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then it became more and more. And you can hear them right now because they're crazy. But, yeah, we started up we're an actually official 501c3 nonprofit duck sanctuary right now.
Oh, that's the only thing we're missing from stealing tons of money is being an actual 501c3.
I applied. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
we keep trying. We're trying to be like, we want to be like the Scientologists, man.
So,
Well,
what?
the NFL is a nonprofit.
I know.
So anything is possible.
Well, you need you have different. You need a nonprofit portion of your business to offload some tax monies. There's a whole thing.
What a sweet
somewhere-
little.
Exactly.
Who's that chirping in the background? What a sweet little chirp. Who is that?
This is Mr. Gibbs.
Mr. Gibbs?
Mr. Gibbs is partner friends with another little mallard with a broken leg. Actually, Captain Quack Sparrow lost his leg, and so
Yes.
Mr. Gibbs is his new bestie. So.
Captain
Tom
Quack
hates
Sparrow.
punny names.
Yeah, oh, Tom just almost pulled his bags out. Right now. He's so mad at you.
I only like pun names on my boat. It's not an
Captain
animal.
Quack Sparrow is pretty rad, though, man.
So,
We dig.
when you start a duck sanctuary, what kind of property do you need?
Yeah.
Do you need to have a natural body of water for them to go in? Can you have a bunch of? Explain to us how it works.
So we actually, crazy enough, purchased a home in Hawaii. Don't ask me how. But we picked it up in the countryside area, so it's not a massive farm or anything. Just a small little plot here where we can have these guys and find homes and adopt and raise the disabled ones. But we started with a bunch of kiddie pools, and now we're putting ponds in to help that. So if there's any pondmen out there who know anything about filtration systems, let me know because I'm desperate.
Tom, you're a bit of a pondsman.
Well,
Who,
I got
like
the
crazy.
Yeah.
Susan. I got the hook up here. I know
Yeah.
a lot of pondsmen,
If
but
you'll
we're in
fly
Florida.
us out, fly us out to
Yeah.
Hawaii, I'll
Yeah.
get you some ponds.
Oh,
I'll dig the holes myself.
You can write it off with that 501c money.
yeah.
Just
You
buy the
guys-
tickets.
she is inquiring about you guys possibly being on the board of directors for her nonprofit.
Oh, I'd like to be the president.
Also, did you guys know that she did
I'll
name
fight you
ducks
for that.
after you both? There is a Tom duck and a Dan duck.
Oh my God, is Tom's duck really dumb? Does it question
He doesn't
everything?
believe in wrestling.
Yeah.
So,
Is that me in the background? Is that
I mean,
my duck?
actually, I got them
Chirping.
years ago. They're so cool. They were brother and sister. We didn't know at the time what gender. So, sorry, Tom, you're a girl.
Ah, take that, little dick.
I am not honored at all. It's like naming a star after me. There's so many. What does it even mean, really? If you're gonna name something after me, make it a super rare, like the albino gator at Gatorland, or something that is actually
Like
you know,
Gomek the crocodile.
is
or
something,
Yeah.
something where it's like, whoa, if it's just one out of a trillion ducks, it's like,
Yeah.
well,
Well,
just,
you named your kid after you. It's 1 out of a trillion kids.
yeah, humans though they have to pay tax. They got a social security number. It's rare. It's more rare than a
Not
duck,
rare.
a star.
So how many ducks do you have now, Susie?
we don't talk about it.
No,
Too many.
Really, it's got that like it's gotten to a point. Is it like
Well-
how much duck food are you having to get? Like, are you actively looking for donations, or what can we do and
Yeah,
our listeners
we
do
do.
to help out?
Send me money. No, I was kidding. we are very actively seeking donations and helping supply it. I use a really good brand of food called Missouri, and it's in the mainland it's like less than $50 a bag. Out here it's like $20 more. So
Sure.
but it helps because I get a lot of special needs cases. Any support. We're actually putting our Patreon together right now, following Sam's lead because it's so cool to do that. And just support, love, kindness. If you know anybody in Hawaii, if you're coming out this way, come visit, come volunteer. Volunteer at your local sanctuary. Just different things like that. Just
There you go.
Humans.
Susan, this is going to be.
Is this where you suck all the joy out of this? Like, so what do you?
Oh, God.
There's I'm sure Susans have experienced this too with because like we go back to Daffy. Daffy could surf, right? Which made
Very unique.
Daffy's life more valuable because
it's a very unique duck.
Because you're like, look at this duck. It can surf. Same thing with Twiggy. Twiggy can water ski.
Sure.
Like all the other squirrels I see, they're just jumping from tree to tree. What are you doing,
Falling
squirrel?
on the pavement,
So
getting hit by cars.
and they're just, not that impressive, but it's like Twiggy can water ski. Daffy can surf, right? So
Yeah.
he's like, I want to give Daffy money and attention because look what Daffy can do.
So we just have to find what the other ducks are good at.
Well, that's the problem with the old duck sanctuary. Then you got a bunch of generic ducks that don't necessarily have a skill or something that I can watch on the internet.
These ducks just want to suck off the teats of America.
Or there's just regular, and no offense, but just garbage ducks that are just
Wow.
around,
Yeah,
floating around, eating. By the way, you don't need special food for a duck. They'll eat anything.
they'll eat a Snickers wrapper. They'll eat a Snickers.
Trash, anything. And then so you get all these ducks that don't necessarily have a skill. I feel like, Susan, you need to start training some of them to get the attention of the internet.
GEDs.
Well, I'm just saying, so that way you get the money because Daffy attracted the social media attention.
That was the face of the brand.
That brought the money in. I think you got to get another Daffy, get it surf,
Well, wait a
tightrope
minute.
walking.
What about that
Unicycle.
one? What about the handicap one? I feel like if it's severe enough, it could be the face.
That's what. I've got 2 geese that are disabled, and we're trying to get a prosthetic leg working for one of them.
Perfect. That's exactly what we need. Prosthetic
That
geese
works.
leg.
Not
goose?
quite surfing.
A goose with a plastic leg?
Yeah,
Are you
okay,
crazy?
yeah, but then you got to start putting it to work and put out some videos.
It's good. It could be like what was that? What was that dolphin? Winter.
Yeah,
And it had the fake.
Oh, yeah.
It had the prosthetic
Oh,
tail.
yeah. Crystal took the boys to the
I know.
movie theaters.
I know. To see that. That's a
Yeah, we need a
billion.
movie.
That's a $1 billion dolphin.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
winter
yeah.
dolphin. Before it died, that dolphin was a cash
Yeah,
cow.
yeah. And then it raised money for the other dolphin because it had the damn
Prosthetic
fin.
So you got a goose. Are both of the geese like disabled or just one?
No, both are. But one can start using a prosthetic leg we're trying to work with, and the other one, his name is Flat Stanley because he's like flat as a pancake. So we're trying to figure out.
Wait, he's dead. That's a dead goose if it's flat as a. He's flat as a pancake.
Do you have any ducks with no beak? Because
Oh,
have you ever
people
seen
love
that?
that. Oh, it's terrifying.
No, I do know some, but
It's
I don't have any
terrifying.
of those.
It's terrifying.
Okay, well,
I have
It looks like a
I have
feather
one
snake.
without eyes.
One without eyes.
It looks like a feather snake.
yeah,
It's
but
disgusting.
with the no beak, but it makes for a good meme. Have
Yeah.
you look up memes with ducks with no beak
yeah, it's
because they
pretty
look like Daniel's right. They have.
It's like when Daffy Duck
Have
blows.
you seen one in person, Tom?
I know. I've only
It
seen it on
doesn't
the-
exist. It's just a meme.
I've seen a beakless parrot in real life.
It has a weird, creepy smile.
Yeah, it looks like a feather snake.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. So I feel like one of those. I guess the goose with the prosthetic.
Well,
leg.
he's easy. You know,
Yeah.
like you don't want something too disgusting, or people aren't going to want to give. You need it to be like entry level disabled.
I remember when I went to Parrot Jungle as a kid. They trained the parrots to ride unicycles on these little tight ropes.
Yeah, when
and
they
it
dunked
was-
the little orange ping pong ball,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
they
Yeah,
drew
yeah.
the lines on it like a basketball.
I'll throw money at that.
Me too.
Yeah. So I feel like that's what you need to do, Susan. Not that you need business advice.
yeah. Are we
from me,
helping you at all?
No, I do.
Yeah. Because
I do.
That's how you get the money. How much does a farm in Hawaii cost? What island are we talking? Oahu?
So I'm on Oahu, so it's ridiculous. I mean, we just bought a house, 7,500 square feet property, $875,000.
Oh my
Ooh.
God, that's a stinger.
Have you ever thought moving?
Yeah, my husband keeps yelling that this is not $1 million house.
A Titusville duck farm would be a lot cheaper.
Have you ever thought, like, the Big Island has got a lot more land? It's like
Yeah,
way more
absolutely.
raw, but like that, it's cheaper over there, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's starting to go up there too, but definitely cheaper right now.
Although it's just a bunch of volcanic rock and
I don't
nothing
think
else.
ducks would like that, right? Do the ducks need a special type of area, or can they live pretty much anywhere?
Pretty much anywhere,
Oh, that's good.
as long as you make it safe. Yeah.
Are there a lot of ducks just wandering around Oahu? Because it seems
Well,
like
there are, but they're all addicted to ice.
it's just not a big enough island to have that many ducks. Are you the only duck sanctuary at Oahu?
In Hawaii.
In Hawaii, wow.
The entire state?
Yeah.
All the islands?
Yeah, there's nobody else who does this.
She's
We kind of cornered the market.
Hold on, you would think there would have to be at least one more duck sanctuary around.
She got there first.
She's telling you that
Yeah.
there's not. Why don't you believe her?
No, it's
Maybe she
now,
doesn't know.
Now Sam
Oh my
cannot
God.
unhear it with everything. She's going to keep hearing it. It's going to drive her crazy.
Oh, look up duck sanctuary in Hawaii and see what pops up on Google. Like, there's got to be one more.
But if there's not, what are you going to say?
Like-
You're going to be like, well, I guess they were right.
Like I say the islands are small.
Well, there probably is. They just don't promote it. He'll come up with something. It's just, my God, I can't believe how Crystal does it.
She can't believe how she does it.
She just
There are
tunes me out.
farmed animal sanctuaries that have lots of animals, but none for just ducks.
Oh, yeah. So none, they might have some
They're not
ducks, but they're not
duck-specific.
duck specific. Okay, that makes sense.
Correct.
Well, hey, is there any place that people can go to help out? Like, do you want to plug your Instagram? Is it still the handle it used to be?
It's all at Susie's Duck. It's even susiesduck.com. All the links are in there.
SusiesDuck.com. Well, hey, we always appreciate you letting us, pick your brain and check in with us and see how things are going. And don't be a stranger and let us know if you need any help with your ducks, okay?
I will. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, always. We appreciate you, too. And we hope that, you don't lose any more ducks and you continue to do good duck stuff.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
Aw,
Susan.
you guys are awesome.
See you, Susan.
Love you guys.
Love you, too. Be good.
See ya.
Live from Hawaii. Hawaiian duck lady.
It makes sense that the house prices are so expensive because
What'd she say? The whole entire property is 7,500 square feet.
yeah, which is
She's like
not that
spent-
big. You
no.
know, we're talking acreage.
Yeah.
But
So she spent like $900,000 for a tiny house.
and now it
It's her and
depends.
5,000 ducks.
Like-
Oh my God.
Hawaii is beautiful, but there is a sense
Aren't
of
the houses up on top of each other on the smaller islands? Isn't it kind of cramped or no?
Every island is, I guess, different, and like Oahu is super sought after because the beaches are way nicer. Like the Big Island, it's not as old, so like there's not as many sandy beaches. There's a lot of volcanic rock.
Gotcha.
It looks like it's just everything built on it is built on the side of volcanoes. But there is a sense of you're in the middle of nowhere in Hawaii, and I like.
You said it freaked you out a little bit, right?
Well, it makes you feel real far away from humanity, like
Remote, really remote?
Remote,
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere, and then
Like cruise ship, that feeling of like, even the cruise ship, I never feel that far off the coast of Florida. I'm
Well-
like, I know, I can swim there.
when you see the blue dot of your cell phone, and then you see Florida right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like okay, you're right next to humanity right there. When you're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, just in the middle of nowhere, and like when you're flying there, you really see it because you know that you go to the
Just
flight
a
tracker.
Dot on blue.
And then you see the airplane. You're like, man, this Hawaii is in the middle of GD nowhere. It's the middle of the gigantic ass ocean, just sitting there. And I imagine most people they get like a feeling of like being alone or loneliness or like they're like island fever. You're just you're not close enough to
Sure.
other things. You're just stuck on this tiny thing.
Yeah,
making it where it's not as sought after as people think it is.
I get that feeling when I don't have a vehicle. Where like if I've been dropped off somewhere and I don't
Kinda
have a
trapped,
Yeah, I
yeah.
kind of feel like I kind of get a very small version of that. I know what you're talking about. In the Dominican Republic, that's the closest I've had to it. When we were on this tiny little spot of a beach, and it was a little bit of an island, but not really. But like you would look on the map and you'd be like, man, where the hell are we? And it'd make you feel weird.
Well, it's like when you were 5-hour flight to California, it's like, God, 5 hours just to get to the United States again. Like it is secluded.
I wonder if there's
Although
any
beautiful
animal.
as hell.
Do you think there's any animal that can't live in Hawaii?
There's no poisonous animals there, which was crazy when I was there.
Not even
like,
snakes?
There's no snakes there. Yeah.
No snakes at all, or just no poisonous?
No
there's
poisonous snakes. I'm not sure if there's any snakes at all, but I know that
That's what I'd always heard. Now, I don't know
What
if that's
about
true
plants?
They no poisonous plants either. They advertised when I was in the Big Island that there are no poisonous anything in the woods here. Like when you could walk out
If
the
you're
woods.
homeless and
Well,
want
I
to
don't know
eat
where
our
you got your
vegetation.
information, Tom, but there are poisonous snakes in Hawaii. One is the yellow-bellied sea snake, and one is the brown tree snake.
Yeah, I'd always heard that too. That there's no poisonous snakes in Hawaii, or there's no snakes in Hawaii. They're probably all wild things that people have wives' tales over the years. People have said to me.
I don't know. Yeah, but that's what everybody was telling me. And the signs are
I've heard
like
that too.
there are not poisonous spiders here or snakes. The sea snake, that's a different. The brown tree snake, I don't know. I've never. It could be invasive.
That sounds like a construction worker pooping out of a tree or something, right?
Yeah.
That's one of them brown sea snakes.
Like the
yellow-bellied snake of Hawaii is one of the most dangerous creatures that you can find on the island.
What?
Is it on the which island?
I'll have to do some more research.
Because
old
I was told
yellow-belly.
when I was in the Big Island, they're like no poisonous
I've
snakes
heard that
here.
too. We've talked about this multiple times.
New
on this show.
Zealand is the same thing. There's no poisonous snakes in New Zealand.
Australia has like everything poisonous.
No,
Yeah,
Australia's
oh my
different.
God, Australia,
Yeah.
you're greeted by a scorpion at the airport. He's like, hello, I will be biting you later.
Yeah, things will kill you in Australia, but there's New Zealand. I guess that didn't the invasive poisonous snakes didn't go crazy. It seems unlikely that someone didn't let loose a poisonous snake and it just
Everywhere
wild.
should have poisonous snakes, right? Aren't we all mixed up at this point?
You would think that they would just somehow get released and then populate a certain area over
it's
time.
happened, tons of different invasive species of whatever has been in Florida.
They killed the Everglades.
Yeah, we've got tons of vegetation. We've got the snake problem in the Everglades.
They did tell me there were hogs there, but they
Slam hogs?
no, regular
Old
hogs.
Hawaiian slam hog.
Oh, they got slam hogs.
What happened to slam hogs?
Still exist?
They still exist? I don't think they do.
Yeah, oh, they do.
You never hear people like, I'm out looking for slam hogs.
They got scorpions on.
You never hear anybody
Hawaii.
talking about that anymore, which led me to believe that slam hogs aren't a thing anymore.
Well, what is it?
The red velvet ant that's just very venomous.
The red velvet ant.
Well, what
That
is it?
sounds
Why were they telling
delicious.
me that?
I don't know.
They just telling me nothing.
Yeah,
like who's right, them or you looking at the internet?
Well,
I
who's
don't know.
them? We'd have to know who them is. Is it like
yeah,
the
who's
airport?
them? They got black widows.
They
There's two species of black widows on the. They have the black widow and the brown widow.
all these
Wait a minute. I thought it was the brown recluse.
like these people, the tour guides, the people,
They
the
don't
signs.
know.
They were saying like there's no poisonous. When I was staying at the tiny house on the volcano, they were like there's no poisonous. Maybe at the altitude we were at. Maybe it was at the altitude we were at.
Okay,
Oh,
so in
yeah.
that area.
In that
Selective
area.
listening. All right, I got you.
Maybe I just assumed it was
You're
the
back
whole,
on track. You're back on track.
the whole island. Maybe it was just because of the altitude. No, there was no poisonous snakes or.
Oh, watch out for the box jellyfish.
Oh, the ocean's
Box
different.
of
yeah.
jellyfish. I don't want a box of jellyfish.
The ocean, there's the ocean is full of dangerous.
Did you see that?
animals.
Did you see that Japanese fish at the deepest point of the seabed? They threw a camera down there in Japan. They took a camera all the way down and they videoed, and they're like, "This is the deepest area we've ever videoed in Japan." And here comes this little pink fish. He's like, he comes up, he looks at the camera. Terrifying. Tiny little pink fish.
Why is it terrifying?
Because he just I looked at him. I don't trust that little pink fish. He looks terrifying.
People say that there's a lot of species of
I think that's what they're trying to do. Stuff we haven't
fish
seen before.
that we've never seen.
Yeah.
But I'm like, probably not that many, right? I mean, there's a
Oh,
lot
they're
of
doing it again. Yeah. I mean,
how
who
many
knows?
could it be?
Who knows?
I mean, it's kind of like the people swear there's a Bigfoot or whatever. It's like, why hasn't there actually been any evidence of anything? It's like, well,
I don't think there's a Bigfoot, but I think there's a bunch of little tiny pink fish down there.
But it's like the Amazon rainforest. There's a certain percentage that's never been explored, and they're like, there could be something living in there. But I'm like, we have Google Earth. Like, people have looked at.
Hey, there's a big old patch of skunk apes on there. Go get them.
I mean, I feel like by now someone would have seen something crazy if there was something crazy out there.
Correct.
Yeah, like,
but people hate it when you say that because
I
they
know.
like to believe. It's kind of like the wrestling thing. People want to sort of believe, right?
Yeah.
And by saying definitively, "Hey, this isn't going to happen," you're like preemptively killing fun, and people hate that.
Yeah, and I hate when it's a species like this species has never been seen before, but it's a frog that looks like every other frog.
That's what this little thing. It looks like a little pink frog. It's like,
and then it's like, well, okay, but we've seen frogs. It just looks like the regular, like the other frog. It's just a different species.
It's a pink version.
Yeah. So that doesn't count. I need something crazy that we've never even
be
seen.
Like spikes.
Something, that's something we're like, whoa.
Truly original. We want
Yes,
a truly
yeah.
original, not just a variation.
If it's a variation of some jellyfish that we've seen before, not as good. Anyway.
Oh, God.
All right, I'm going to stop talking. Bye-bye. Making a lot of people mad.
You're not making me mad.
No, I'm just fucking.
Okay. All right. Where's that go?
That's Monday 3. That's 410.
Monday 3. Thank you. Do we have anything for Monday?
Nope, that's the first thing.
Great.
I need an intro for tonight. We can even do one for tomorrow too, since we finished that.
All right.
Did you say that's Monday 3?
Correct.
Okay.
Ooh, the curious crustacean looks crazy.
Did you see the little pink fish?
Yeah,
He's cute.
is the rainbow reef fish.
He's like, "Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee." The funny thing is the way that they shot it. He comes up out of the corner like, "Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee." It makes it like kind of funny. Because it made him like kind of swim up and look at it like, what the fuck is this camera doing here? Like, like he was like, what is this?
And it's a
An
fish that
odd
didn't
owl.
know.
Yeah, here, let me
I'm looking at all the different species of animals that were found in 2022. Well, not all of them. A handful of
Like
them.
discovered.
Mm-hmm.
There he is. There he
Ooh, look at this fucking weirdo jellyfish.
is. There he
Atola
is.
reynoldsi.
There he is. See how gross he is?
Oh, it looks like almost like a hermit crab, not a horseshoe crab without the shell, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes in the video. The video is cool. He goes like, see, there he is. He goes,
And it's a species they've never seen before.
yeah, they've never seen it before.
There's some crazy shit
And they're
down at the
saying
bottom
this
of
is
the
the
ocean,
world's
dude.
deepest fish. Come on. It's not that good. Your fucking ads. Fuck your ads. It's too long. I'm like, I'm over it.
They don't do anything.
All right. An intro.
Oh,
for
somebody in the chat said they texted you, Tom.
what do we do?
Yeah,
now?
yeah. I'm texting them back.
Yeah, they said thank you. You responded. Yes, I'm a BDM. Oh, look
do we
at
do
you
tonight?
bonding. Tonight is Teresa for Weird Job Wednesday.
Okay.
Printer ink prices. Magoo gets through. Hollow Man and Invisibility.
Okay. I got something.
I got something.
3, 2.
Hey, I'm thinking about inventing an invisibility machine.
Okay,
turn us
I can
invisible.
use that right now.
I know.
Oh, man.
I know.
Hide
Like-
from my old lady.
Yeah. So, but I need someone as a test subject.
Okay.
So I kind of need you to get into the machine.
Oh, I thought
so
you
can
needed me to
figure
get in
out
the shower.
how- I'll look at it.
Tonight on a corporate time with Tom and Dan. Tom and Dan welcome Teresa the trainer to the program. And Magoo can get through. And here they are. The single and double Windsor knot of radio, Tom and Dan.
Yes. What do we do tomorrow?
Wrestling is fake.
Oh, yeah.
And tornadoes. And stepdads.
I got something. Here we go.
Okay.
Hey, I've never told you about him, but my stepdad's here, and I need you to make me look.
What do you mean, your stepdad?
Yeah. I didn't talk about him ever. My mom remarried before she passed away, and my stepdad's here. Oh, man, and he's really political.
Well, as long as he doesn't believe wrestling's real.
Uh-oh.
Tonight on a corporate time with Tom and Dan. Tom and Dan talk about wrestling. Is that real? We talk about tornadoes and stepdad. And here they are, the mechanical and number 2 pencils of radio, Tom and Dan.
All right. Have a good rest of your day, everybody. We're going to go continue editing and dumping files. And we will see you. Are we going to record anymore today?
Not today.
We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. For those of you that joined us on Twitch and YouTube, thank you.